Hi, this is Larry Kaye with ShadowAnyone.com. Allow me to be just a little more casual today. A buddy of mine called me this morning with a problem, and it was interesting and I thought maybe helpful for some other people. And I just wanted to record and share with you what the problem was and how we approached the solution. So he called me up and he said he had found in the fence outside his house a wireless Bluetooth audio receiver, had a little microphone, and he was kind of concerned about that. Now, right away, that's an odd place for someone to place a listening device, an eavesdropping device, or a bug. He kind of knew that, and he recognized that he had recently had his roof done, and there were some roofers out there, and he was kind of suspecting or hoping that it was something that was related to them trying to, play a radio over a Bluetooth device or something like that. But it was just very odd and disconcerting to him. So we looked at the totality of what was going on, and the only real weirdness to it is there is some home business going on which has some big dollar amounts and some big players as far as businesses. It's the only possible reason someone would be interested in listening in on what's going on. But again, kind of on the fence outside just doesn't make a lot of sense. So here's what we looked at about it and the decisions that we came to. The first element, and if you find a device like this, consider these things. It basically was a microphone, but it did not really have a storage device or storage medium on it or a transmitter associated with it. So as far as a bug or a listening device, it does not have all those components. That was reassuring in and of itself. So from a logical perspective of where it was positioned and that it had these missing elements, it did not seem or feel like it was a bug or a listening device. Now, one thing you have to consider when you are doing a sweep, and I've done precious few countermeasure sweeps in my career. I've always brought in a subcontractor to assist and aid and do the heavy lifting for me because the equipment that's needed, the skill sets that are needed are very specific. But one thing to consider when looking at if you found a listening device or if you're doing a sweep for listening devices is what's called a drop bug. And a drop bug is the one or two that are designed for you to find if you decide you want to do a sweep. And the idea is that you find the listening device, you go, aha, I'm smarter than whoever this guy is, and you move on with your life as if you're no longer bugged, but in fact there's a secret, more well-hidden device that's listening in on you. That was not the case here. We didn't get that feeling at all, again, because of all the totality of the circumstances with it. But the question does arise, what do you do if you think you find a listening device or even a hidden camera? The thing I would suggest to you is immediately don't acknowledge it and don't move it. The fact that you know it's there or that it might be there, if the bad guy, the eavesdropper, the voyeur doesn't know that you have a distinct advantage at that point. Second, you want to reach out to someone who's got knowledge about these things, someone that you can trust, maybe a professional, maybe a licensed professional, and see what kind of advice you can get from that person. And are you going to need a larger countermeasure sweep, or how are you going to want to deal with this particular problem, this bug, this listening device, this camera? The third thing I would consider, and you can go either way on this, it's really your judgment call and a judgment call of maybe your legal counsel or board of directors or whoever else might be if this is a corporate type issue. But you can play it out two ways. One, now that you know that there's a listening device, you can manipulate the intelligence that they can get. So you can make sure that the things that you say or do around the eavesdropping device lead the person who's eavesdropping down the wrong path so that they're getting bad intelligence from you. And this is going to cause them to waste their time, energy, and money on other elements aside from the true things that you're doing and discussing and the plans that you or your business have going on. The other way to handle this is to go directly to the authorities, to contact the police and bring them in and begin a criminal investigation from that perspective, that they can, as professionals, can gather the evidence and can look at what this might be, Maybe there's a bigger picture that you as your individual or as your corporation doesn't know about, that they're seeing a series of these things. Finally, from this third step, there is that hybrid process. You can kind of mess with the person who's listening in by giving them bad intelligence, and then also contact the police department in order to pursue a very professional investigation or criminal charges as needed. If you've come across a hidden camera or a listening device and you have handled it differently, are there mistakes that you made that you would have done differently the next time that you discover this type of thing? A lot of things in life you do a lot better the second time around. Fortunately, this is one of those things that you probably won't have to deal with at all, but if you do have to, how would you handle it differently the next time? I'd love to know about that. In the meantime, this is Larry Kaye with ShadowAnyone.com. Remember, do the right thing, even if it's the hard thing.